Hey, it's me, VinylBenjy.
Hello, my friends. This is Giggens. Perfect.
There we go.
YouTube on a community, Beatles fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens. We're here today for List Monday, joined by my buddy Vinyl Benji.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Giggens. I'm so thrilled to be here to talk about one of my all-time favorite bands with you.
Yeah, we're doing the top five favorite songs of 1967 from the Beatles, and I chose this year and you specifically because Sgt. Pepper's your favorite album, and I was like, what would you have to say about like the songs from Magical Mystery Tour or the songs that made it to Yellow Submarine? So I thought it'd be kind of fun to dive into this year. One of their most psychedelic years, one of their most creative years, one of their most fascinating years where they really went all out in terms of production, songwriting, really killing it. So
Studio work, the instruments, the multiple layers of things, how they built up the sound,
yeah.
and with the limited technology they had, the fact that they accomplished what they accomplished
Yeah.
is still out of this world.
It's funny, like I grew up with this music like you did too. And I've been really into like an early Beatles kick lately. I've really been playing like Rubber Soul with the Beatles a lot. And so I put on Sgt. Pepper Magical Mystery Tour and I was like, holy crap, like they really like it's because it's been a minute since I've heard them all the way through. And I was like, damn, these guys were good.
Yeah.
So let's just jump in, man.
Sure.
So how the process works, if you're watching for the first time, Benji will say his number five, we'll chat about it. I'll say my number five, we'll chat about it, and so on. So your number five, sir, of
My
1967.
number my number five is I'm the Walrus.
Whoa! Damn, okay. Why?
It's you can't make me choose, dude. This is hard, All right, what's your number five?
My number five is Flying.
Oh, flying.
I picked that one because it's a co-write between all four of them, which is rare, and it made it to an album, which is rarer. And I love the vibe on this song. It's super underrated. It's so chill. It's spacey. It's weird. It's kind of goofy, but it's just this little plodding along, groovy little track that I feel like doesn't get enough attention. So, Flying, man.
One thing I'll say about flying, some of the easiest lyrics to remember of any Beatles song. Yeah,
What
but for real
was that
though,
scene?
I choose I'm the Walrus because it's just the Beatles at their most psychedelic. It
Yeah.
really encaps it's really the peak of their 1967 era. You have everything. You have amazing guitar from George Harrison, a fantastic orchestra to back him up, Ringo, incredible drumming, Paul's super melodic bass line, John's phenomenal vocals with lyrics that are just so crazy and nonsensical, but it meshes so well with the backing track, it just all works so well. In the music video or the scene for Magical Mystery Tour,
Yeah.
you put those all together and you get just one of the best, one of the most 1967 songs you can have.
That scene from the movie is the only time you ever see them playing this song together, and it's like obviously they're miming it, but like it's so cool to see them in their groovy outfits jamming this really weird, complex song. That's an amazing track, man. Um, you're number four.
My number four, let's see. My number four is going to be Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Ooh, okay, okay. So we're
Ringo's band.
jumping back to Sergeant Pepper here. What about Lucy in the Sky grabs you on that one?
Well, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds for me, it's more of a personal reason. I recall Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds being one of the very first Beatles songs I ever knew. I actually have some
Cool.
somewhat vague memories of me singing that song in the shower as a kid. For I know, out of all the Beatles songs that I
Yeah,
back then, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, that
of
was.
course.
But it's a similar to I'm the Walrus, just it's fantastical lyrics. It's a little bit of nonsense. It's beautiful backing track, especially the riff. It's just the way that song opens. It's pretty inviting. It's intriguing. It makes you want to go in for more. And
Yeah,
the changing time signatures. It starts as a waltz, one, two, duh, 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 and then duh, 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 duh. It has multiple time signatures in it.
yeah,
Um, it's just it's just so poetic and beautiful.
yeah. I agree. And that song for me is one of those tracks where like I wish they were playing shows at that time. And like that whenever I used to like play the drums by myself, I would like hear it in my head in high school. I would like play the drums and be like, you could just make this song groove for another like 6 minutes, just jamming, like Ringo going crazy, like crazy sound effects. It would have been awesome live. But yeah, that song rules, man. I mean, it's the imagery is amazing. It's like being inside a painting that's melting. It's
Yeah, that scene from Yellow Submarine, it just goes so well with it too. Once
yeah,
again, video aspect of it, which people don't always think about with these songs, but
yeah.
it's just it's just a perfect combination.
Having that sort of dreamy atmospheric verse section that's repeated a few times, and then that punch in the face that is the chorus. It's almost like waking you up. It's like the sobering moment to be like,
Yeah.
yo, wake up.
And then if you fall asleep again by the end of the song, you get woken up with getting better.
Yeah, right. As an alarm sound, yeah.
What's your number four?
I put It's All Too Much, which didn't come out
Oh,
later,
I
but
forget. I honestly forgot. I wasn't when I didn't think of those songs. I know they're from 1967, a good chunk of
yeah.
it, but it came out in 68 or 69, so I didn't think to include those.
Yeah, I was
I don't know
not
if I would
I
have, but
almost I almost didn't, but I was kind of like they were recording at that time. It just didn't come out yet. So like to me it counts as a 67 song, but
okay.
It's All Too Much is just this humongous kaleidoscopic epic of a song that I also feel it doesn't get enough credit, but it's used so well like in the Yellow Submarine movie at the end there. It's this joyous, happy-go-lucky conclusion kind of feel, but another song that's like a love song but very explorative and adventurous. I love Ringo's drums on it. I love that it jams out for like it's like what 7 minutes long or something. It just doesn't stop.
I
Um,
love the guitar. The guitar is just so kick-ass.
Great guitar work. I love the too much at the end. It's
Too much,
fun,
too
you
much,
know?
too much.
And yeah, and George's voice on it I think is really cool. He's like, leaning into that psychedelic stuff that John and Paul were doing, but the only released stuff that we got from George was like Blue Jay Way, Within You Without You. Like things were kind of chill for his stuff to
Yeah,
get
that's
released
it.
that year. So
Unfortunately, George's output in 67 was a bit limited compared to Lennon McCartney's, so
yeah,
I really couldn't find a way to work him into my list.
that was
I
how
mean,
I
if we're
got.
doing 1968, that'd be a different story, but
Oh,
we're doing
completely. Yeah,
67, yeah.
completely, man. So that's my It's All Too Much rant, but you're number three.
My number three is Penny Lane.
Ooh, nice.
You have to understand, my list is it's there's nothing. My list is I think it's a general consensus among critics, and it's not. I'm not going out of my way to include deeper cuts that people may not know. I mean, these are the ones that people just all agree on. I
Yeah.
don't know. What's your number three?
And they're hits for reasons. They're amazing songs that everyone loves. There's nothing wrong with that.
100%. What's your number three?
I put Good Morning from Sergeant Pepper, man, because like I remember as a kid hearing this song, and it still hits me to this day. Like those drums at the end with Ringo just going nuts, the sound effects that they dug up from the EMI vaults, and I just like the almost boring, mundane imagery. Like I don't want to go to work. Oh, my old school looks the same. Nothing's on TV. Nothing's going on tonight. It's like whatever. Good morning, good morning. It's just kind of like blase lyrical element, but the music is so these horns are chugging away, just like Got to Get You Into My Life, which was like one of the rare times they used horns so efficiently.
And Paul's guitar solo is just rips.
It's a very Taxman type solo.
He
Yeah,
just rips through it in this incredible way. It's just like
yeah,
it just kind of catches you by surprise.
yeah. And it kind of comes out of nowhere. I think it's so effective because you are so accustomed to the horns at that point. So to hear a guitar kind of shred at you is like jarring, kind of wakes you up. But yeah,
Yeah.
Good Morning is one of my favorites, man. That song has always been a favorite.
Penny
You're
Lane for me, there's a lot of, similar to, I mean, most Beatles songs I've known since I was a kid, they just have a special meaning in my heart.
for
But
sure.
Penny Lane, I guess one of the reasons why I love it so much is, it's very British.
Yeah,
It's something about it, the way it sounds,
yeah.
the trumpet solo, the lyrics themselves. It's just very British, in a good way.
You know that version, I think it's on Anthology or it's on the Rarities album where the song ends with that little trumpet. Doo,
Yeah, I
doo.
wish they kept that in the final mix. I
I
like that.
Me too. Whenever I hear that song, I wait for that to happen. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not the real one. But it's like it's so nice. It's a little cherry on top at the end of the song. It's great.
And And the remix 10, I think, or I forgot which one they used for the Capitol promo single when they put it on the Sgt. Pepper box back in 2016. And the way it, of course, the way Penny Lane goes so well with, its other songs, Strawberry Fields, which, those two songs, they sound so psychedelic and they sound like a product of their time, but the lyrics harken back to their childhood. It's
Yeah.
just a fascinating combination. You have lyrics of your past with the sounds of the future.
Yeah. And it's kind
And
of amazing that they both did that. John came out with Strawberry Fields. Paul was like, "Oh, right about Penny Lane." Like
yeah,
only they would top each other. It's like, "Oh, you did that, I could do that too."
yeah.
Um, your
I
number.
guess that's one of the things that made the Beatles song so great. This
Oh,
opportunity to kind of one up each other. Their eagerness to be best, and that's what made them so top notch.
yeah, they needed each other. Absolutely.
100%.
Your number two.
My number two is A Day in the Life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No,
We expect that to be number one.
I can't wait to hear what your number one's gonna be because that's a
Well,
huge song.
my original thought was to put Day in the Life at number one. But the thing is with Day in the Life, you know, it is an amazing song, and many people have ranked it as their best song
Yeah,
for a lot of reasons. And there's so much to it. You have the soft opening, which sort of peaks at this instrumental orchestra crash. Then you have Paul's section, and then it kind of slows down. It's just peaks and valleys galore
yeah,
musically. Um, and it fits so well in 1967. But I was thinking also the lyrics, I mean, great lyrics. John's lyrics are great, Paul's lyrics are great, but
yeah.
how they don't do they really go that well together? I mean, we know it now and ultimately does work because it's just how we know it and it's great, but at
Right.
the same time, it's just an interesting fit.
It is a weird combination of ideas kind of mashed together, but that's kind of what made their songs great. Like I think if I Got a Feeling, that's two different
Good
songs,
point. Good
and somehow
point.
it works. You
And,
know,
and the crazy thing is, I Got a Feeling is actually one of my favorite songs from What It Be. So
same
I
dude. That's
should
been
apply
one.
the same logic to that song and placement on my lists.
Yeah, the
But
songs have nothing to do with each other, but yeah,
I mean, even the instrumental bits, it's like, how do they mash that all together? It's just this fascinating collage.
yeah. Collage is a good word. Yeah, it's like
It's
a
just a
whole.
fascinating collage. It ultimately works very well,
Yeah,
but it still amazes me how they ultimately pulled it off.
it's one of the most incredible songs ever written.
100%.
Yeah, ever.
A car crash and a guy getting up for work.
Yeah, as you do. Yeah,
As they do, yeah. Hopefully not, it's not the same person.
at the
Hopefully they
same
didn't get
time.
up for
Yeah,
work, get in the car crash. God forbid. That would
yeah.
be very tragic.
Pretty horrible day. Uh,
What's your number two?
I put I Am the Walrus for number two.
Oh, did you? Let's hear your reasons for liking it.
Okay, similar to what you explained before, like it's so experimental and so far out and so weird. And for a group that literally 3 years earlier saying, I want to hold your hand, the growth is astronomical. Hearing them go from even stuff on Revolver, which was kind of far out, but like I'm Only Sleeping or For No One, hearing them do a song like I'm the Walrus, where you're referencing all these weird psychedelic things, these different ideas, these different books, this different imagery. For some reason, when they did it, it sounded like it made sense, like you believed what they were saying. And
Or
uh,
incense and peppermints.
it's just a groovy, weird song that allows itself to experiment, and it's catchy, which is hard to do. If you're gonna be weird, making it catchy is kind of a tricky balance. So they used their pop idiom and their weirdness idiom and mashed them together and made this psychedelic collage masterpiece. Um,
There's
it's
so many songs. There's so many songs from that era that I love that to
yeah.
this day I still don't know what they mean. I don't totally understand all the references to "I Am the Walrus" and.
I just think it's imagery. I think it's just meant to make you think.
And lately I've been really listening to the Grateful Dead a lot, and there's one song by them
Yeah.
called "China Cat Sunflower," which I love that song so much.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out a little bit.
I feel like some songs are purposely left open to interpretation because there is no answer, and
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. I feel like that's what I'm the Walrus is about, but I like the use of tapes at the end. the recording the radio, that Shakespeare play. It's
Slay. That has slayed me.
yeah,
It
it's
didn't
just
take
a
my
weird
purse.
song. And I like how there's like slightly different versions. The one from Rarities has like that slightly one or two extra beats in the middle bit before the yellow metal custard part. But
Yeah, the original US single mix also has
yeah,
the that middle bit. And that's how the take was done. I mean, if you listen to the basic track from Anthology 2, it has that too. That's
yeah.
what it was in the track, but they cut it off for I guess the final mixes and
See, like that's how I am with like Dig a Pony from Let It Be.
hold
I
it.
love
Oh no, the all
the
I
real one. Yeah, like
yeah, yeah.
the way Phil Spector chopped it up is it's fine, but like the real version is so much better.
I think they could have at least taken out of the intro but left it at the end. That would have been a good compromise, I
Oh, that would
think.
be cool. Yeah, for
Would have
sure.
been a good compromise, honestly. And they liked that they ultimately liked that edit because they kept it out of Let It Be Naked too.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Um, you're number one.
My number one is Strawberry Fields Forever.
Ah, all right. That's fair. Okay. That's cool. That's fair. What do you like about that one?
Well, it's just one of the most heartwarming songs done by Beatles, and you don't have to be British. You don't have to understand their culture. You listen to it, and it just makes you feel so warm and at home. Even when it has that incredible climax, it goes from the take 7 to the take 26, right?
Hmm.
Let me take you down because I'm
Nee,
going
no.
to right. And even there, it's like even with that, even with that crazy built up uh take, the psychedelic sound, of the latter part of the song, the lyrics still just come out. It still makes it's just still such a beautiful song.
Yeah, it's such a conversational song. I love those lines where, he's literally saying, in some of the lyrics. He's like, he's just talking to somebody. And for a song that started off so pretty and acoustic and simple to become this epic, dense, layered masterpiece, it just kind of goes to show their strengths in songwriting and what they wanted to achieve. Like, they could have put it out just as an acoustic song that would have been a beautiful track. But they're
Yeah,
like,
I
no,
don't know how, I mean, I don't know how what it would have done at the time, but I mean, when you look at it now and you know what you know about
oh,
it, for
right,
sure. I mean,
for
that's
sure.
one of the reasons why I also love the Beatles Love version. The Beatles Love version.
Yeah, that's a nice version.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
So good.
Great sounding album too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Strawberry.
even I mean, well, then you get to the cranberry sauce part.
Yeah.
Then it just takes a weird direction.
Man, when I was a kid, I remember playing that tape as a kid and like hearing that groovy ending bit with the Mellotron's like doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo. It used to terrify me as a kid. I was like, this is so scary. I don't know what it was. It used to freak me out, man.
Are you
Um,
afraid of cranberry sauce?
maybe that's it. Yeah. Thanksgiving dinners were scary, man. Um, my number one, I put A Day in the Life, which is probably super predictable. But
Hey,
like
my entire list was predictable, so
that's the thing. Like I tried doing a couple of oddball ones, but there were a few that I feel like I had to include because regardless of how I feel about them, I feel like they are like really important in their discography. And A Day in the Life is an example of letting a song breathe and grow and develop on its own and being patient with it and understanding dynamics and really wanting to make something that no one had ever done before. Like when you have that crescendo at the end where things are just starting to explode and then it stops and then you get one final note. Literally no one had written a song like that before, especially on a pop album. So
yeah.
like it must have been mind-blowing to hear that for the first time being like, it's like, look, 1967 you had stuff like the Monkees were big at that time. Sunshine Pop was big at that time, was becoming to be really big. All the pop singers, solo artists were huge. So when psychedelic was moving in from mainstream pop groups, that was a big deal. And, especially for the Beatles, who were only 2 years before, were singing Drive My Car. Here's this song about filling in all the holes in Albert Hall. Like, what? So like they got real funky with it, but yeah, that track in particular is just an effort in song construction. It is if you want to learn how to write an interesting song, try that one. You won't do it, but you can try. And I love how at the end that final piano note is like, was it Paul, Ringo, and George Martin?
There's at least four of them. I think all of them may have been on that note with George Martin. I don't remember off the top
I
of my
can't
head, but it
remember.
was
Like,
definitely more than three people.
I just remember the mics were so hot that if anybody had moved an inch, it would have sounded like an explosion on the benches they were
Yeah,
on.
you hear at the end,
You hear it
you hear
creak.
the piano bench. Yeah, you
Yeah.
hear
Can
they really they wanted to get every little bit of sound detail there.
you imagine? But like,
Yeah.
how do you come up with that stuff where it's never been done before, and you make it so accessible? I think that's the strength of their songwriting
Yeah.
with anything they did. Um,
It's just like I said, you grow up with these songs, so you don't always question it. You just kind of love it so much that it's just so
yeah.
great. You can't always understand why, but you just have a good feeling about it.
And it's funny too, because like, we grew up with this stuff as kids and you hear these songs and you kind of accept it as fact without judging it against anything else. Because when you were a
100%.
kid, you have like five or six bands that you love and that's it. That's your whole world. So
Yeah.
like when you start off as the Beatles being one of your favorite bands, your benchmark for music is pretty high. So like, you're already starting off pretty good. Uh,
Honestly, I tend to separate I keep all the artists separate. I don't always like to compare artists with each other
oh,
because,
I don't
then
either.
I feel like it ruins the other ones.
It's
Every
not
artist has their place, every artist has their value, every artist has their accomplishments, and they deserve to be
100%.
praised and loved for those things.
100%.
Look, I
Yeah.
mean, if we're going to spend some time comparing, the Beatles and the Beach Boys, then, it's like, look, I mean, it's been done before. A lot of these comparisons have been done before.
Oh, sure.
Sometimes you just gotta take them on their own, maybe for face value a little bit,
Yeah,
take them on their own, uh, and learn and love them for that.
I agree. Music is there to enjoy, and we get something out of it from every band you listen to. And, you know, it's cool that there's so much to enjoy and discover from. And doing these top five videos have been so much fun because, and especially as I've been doing more collaborative kind of things, seeing how other people think and like what they would put into a list, whether based on their own reflection or how other people would put a list together, it's been cool. So, Benji, man, thanks for doing this. This was so much fun.
Thanks for having me, Giggens. What a thrill it has been to discuss this with you. I had a blast, and I hope we'll get to do it again sometime.
Oh, we'll do it again sometime. Maybe the Beach
Yay!
Boys. Yeah.
The top five Burkhart songs.
The top five Burkhardt song. I'm in. We'll do it. Benji, if you want to promote yourself, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok, YouTube, VinylBenjy.
As you'll see right here at VinylBenjy on the screen, at VinylBenjy. There it is.
You
And
could decide.
it'll be linked down in the description box below. But thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.